Hello, I'm Nick Stone. I'm the ARK Group conference producer, and today we're talking about GDPR. GDPR for risk and compliance, GDPR for the professional. This is our third GDPR event that you'll be seeing on the 14th of November, and we're delighted to see Bethan Cater, Bethan, the Data Protection Officer at Wilmington plc. Got lots of questions for Bethan today, particularly around some of the things that you'll be talking about when you see Bethan at the event in November. And so my first question, really, now we're into this live situation, we've got practical considerations, practical challenges. What are you finding around subject access requests and breach notifications?
Well, first of all, I think the fundamentals for us haven't really changed with that. Prior to GDPR, we responded to subject access requests, and if we were to have a breach, we would respond to those accordingly. I mean, what we've done in preparation for GDPR is reviewed our policies.
Yes.
And obviously the time span is shorter to respond to a subject access request, and there's the new requirement for serious breaches to be reported to the ICO within 72 hours. So obviously we've adapted and changed our policies and processes, but fundamentally they are the same, and we're fortunate in that we haven't had to respond or report a breach to the ICO since GDPR has come in. But I think, you know, from my point of view, one of the things that I think has been particularly helpful with the subject access requests, for example, is the data mapping work we did for GDPR has helped us to understand and respond more efficiently to any requests. So we know exactly where all our data is. And so responding within that 30-day time frame is not something that we're considering particularly scary.
No. It's interesting you mentioned breach notification, because that came up at the event that we had last time. Of course, we must remember that critical 72-hour rule. And I was thinking about some of the successes that you've had now we're into the live regime that you might be talking about. Where have you been seeing some of those successes, Bethan?
I think the biggest success we've had in Wilmington is involving all people in the organisation with GDPR. It's not just my project. It's a project that involves everyone from throughout the organisation. We've had a GDPR steering committee with senior management to help push our strategy going forward. We've had a system of data stewards in each of the business, so that people can have a contact to ask questions about data and what they should be doing to someone nearby in their business. And I think it is that it's involving in embedding GDPR in privacy by design as a key part of our projects and our future development. So it's working across the organisation, and we've been looking at and investing in training of our staff and awareness, particularly around specific areas such as cybersecurity. It's a real issue going forward across the board. Phishing attacks are on the increase for everyone, and we need to prepare our staff, and so we've been taking measures in that regard.
It's interesting you say that, because this is very much a practical event, and we want to get some practical advice across to people when they come along. What would you like delegates to be taking away when you come along to the event in November, Bethan?
Well, I recognise that not every organisation is like Wilmington. We have over 25 different companies within Wilmington. But, you know, what I would like people to take away is, you know, hopefully they'll learn something from my experiences. It's a practitioner's view of GDPR. It's going through some of the mechanisms I've put in place to make sure that we can be as efficient as possible in handling GDPR requests from our staff, from customers, from potential customers. So, you know, I think hopefully we'll be able to provide on the day in November some real practical advice for people.
Thank you, Bethan. That was a very interesting response there. We'll be seeing a lot more of Bethan, a lot more of that practical advice when we see Bethan at the event on the 14th of November. Big thanks for coming in this afternoon, Bethan. Thanks for your time. Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you at the event on the 14th of November. Thank you.